you're joining me in my studio in Sheffield today. I've come back with to answer another question that's come in from my followers. I did a post on Facebook and lots of people have left different questions. Some of them I've been able to answer directly as word posts, but some were probably easier to do by video, and that's one of those. So Matt asked, what are bobbins? So it's something that I talk about on my page, and obviously if you're not into sewing or new to sewing, it's not quite sure on what they are. So let's go over to the sewing machine and we'll explain it. So this is a Janome that I use in the studio for classes. Now up here we have the reel of cotton. It's also called a spool, and that is where the thread comes for sewing on the top of your fabric. If we go down here and we take this out, this is the bobbin, and a bobbin is basically a small spool of thread that goes in underneath, that loops around the top thread and forms your stitches on the back. So this one is a top loading, and there's a little strand of thread in there. So before we go back to using this machine, give it a nice clean. So this one is plastic, so a lot of the drop-in ones and a lot of the more modern ones will have a plastic spool. So one thing, a plastic bobbin, sorry. So one thing to remember is, if your machine comes and it is supplied with a plastic bobbin, make sure that you continue to use one. Now my Juki, there we go, it comes with a metal bobbin, and you'll see if I hold them together that they're different in size. So the Janome is slightly has less diameter, and the Juki is definitely shorter, so it just fits in there. So when you're coming to buy extras, make sure that you're buying those that fit your machine. Might only be a small difference in size, but it can affect the stitching if we're not using the right one. It won't form the stitches correctly. So this one pops in the top there, and it has a little tension thing there, and I can pull up the thread, and there we are, that's ready for stitching. Now some machines, my Juki is one, it loads underneath, so the Juki is different to a lot, but I'll go to the Juki and I'll show you.
So the Janome was a top loading one, and it used a plastic bobbin. Juki has a metal bobbin, and it also comes with a bobbin case. So quite often, this is a semi-professional machine, which is why it goes in from the side. Your normal sewing machines will be loaded from the front. So if your machine comes with plastic bobbins, then use plastic bobbins. If it comes with a metal one, stick with that. So this then goes into the bobbin holder. The thread comes round that little tension plate there, and on this one I've got a little arm there, and if I pull it out, it stops the bobbin from falling out. When you put it in, you just need to make sure it's in fully, and then you can just bring the thread up like you normally do.
So we're talking about if it comes with a metal one, use the metal one, and if it has a plastic bobbin, make sure that you use a plastic one, and that's for the integrity of your machine. Metal is obviously harder than plastic, and if you're using the wrong bobbin, you're going to wear away the fitting. Remember to get one that fits your machine, make sure it's the right size, because if you don't, then it will not stitch properly. So for those of you that are starting your sewing journey with a sewing machine, I hope that's helped. It's always nice to know the names for things. These will be going into these definitions are going into a sewing and quilting glossary that I'm making, I will let you know as soon as it's available. It will be available on the website. If you have any other features, whether it's techniques or tools or phrases that we use when we're sewing or quilting that you would like explaining, do drop me a message, because I may be able to include that in there as well. I look forward to speaking to you again very soon, but in the meantime, do take care. Bye for now.